Welcome to the Workforce of the Future podcast. I'm Jacques DeBose with Mix Consulting and Nexus Expos, here with my friend Luke. Luke, we've talked a lot of business before. We're going to talk some more about the PEO Link and what you do as an entrepreneur and with the PEO Link and the services you provide. So thanks for being here today, Luke.
Thank you for having me.
So PEO Link has been around for a while, one of the larger PEOs out there. And walk me through what it's like for somebody that doesn't understand, one, what is a PEO? How can a PEO serve me in my business? Or I'm a new business starting out and I've got X number of employees. I don't know what to do. I'm not an HR expert. But you guys at the PEO Link and your team, you can point them in the right direction and find that help that they need.
Absolutely. So for starters, PEO stands for Professional Employer Organization. Conceptually, this is a situation where a small to mid-sized business will reach out to a larger management company. That management company will take that smaller business's employees, put them under the FEIN of the larger management company and lease them back on paper. So what the benefit of that is for the smaller company to receive the economies of scale, the access to group benefits, the access to HR management, to gain access to the expertise that they may not have on their own team.
Right.
Maybe they are too small to hire all of those people internally. Even if they did hire those people internally, maybe their small employee count isn't large enough to get acceptable pricing on insurance products. So this is a way for a small to mid-sized company to be a little more competitive and to receive some of the benefits that these larger companies have had for a long time.
That's great. So I've learned a lot about brokerage and going through a broker on different things. I've partnered with a tech company, Cellars, which is a huge brokerage company. Can leverage any kind of technology, B2B, that a company would use. We know about insurance brokers, but many people may not be aware, educating them, this is what the PEO could do, because you start a business, I'll give an example. A friend of mine who's a surgeon started up a practice. He went to one place for payroll, went to another place for something else, somewhere else for benefits. Small practice starting up, and he was just running in circles trying to be the surgeon and the HR guy and have an office administrator doing some stuff. But he didn't have to sweat that if he goes with somebody through the PEO Link that you can help him identify, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the PEO Link, we are a brokerage firm. We are the largest broker of PEO services in the United States. So we have at any given time between 60 to 75 carriers that we're able to send business to. We've been doing this long enough too that we have an internal book of business that we're able to leverage for better pricing. So the typical approach that we will take is a needs assessment, finding out what the needs are of these prospects and what the needs are not, right? So we don't want to place them with a PEO that's going to overservice and charge for it. Conversely, we don't want to place them with a carrier that seems extremely low price, but maybe the reason is they don't have certain services that person needs. So this all comes out in the wash when we do the needs assessment. So what we're really good at is taking that client, getting the information that we need from them to get proposals, sending it out to quite a few carriers under our umbrella that we already think will be a perfect fit. The companies under our umbrella, they know that we're brokers. They know that they're not the only game in town. So we're able to negotiate the best rates. So we're already finding the best fit. Then we negotiate the best rates, and we assist in the implementation as well.
So as a business owner, I don't have to worry about all those details, all those headaches, the HR challenges or the HR adjacent stuff that a lot of people get slowed down in, and they're afraid of, and they know it's necessary. And if they piecemeal it themselves, they could find themselves getting into trouble. But your PEO Link and brokerage services can keep those businesses out of trouble by providing them all the services they need through your needs assessment and then matching them up with the right PEO.
That's the idea. Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the PEO game?
The PEO Link has been in existence, making me think here, I believe around 2002, 2003 or so, give or take, was when the PEO Link was founded. I went on board in 2005. So, 20 years that I've been with them. And we're doing great. We're growing. We've been growing for a long time, and The market is ripe for these services. It has been for a while, but
Right.
even more so now. The prevalence of PEOs are it's more of a known commodity now.
Sure.
When we first did this, it was like we were describing processes and things that people didn't know exist, and that's still true to a little bit, but the prevalence of PEOs are better now. So now it's not as much of us explaining and helping people conceptually understand what it is. We can get right to the point of hey, here's what PEO is. Let us interview you, get a needs assessment. Let us find the best PEO fit, and let's get it instituted. So our sales cycle is much smaller now, which is better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I learned about PEOs was from you several years ago. So most of the knowledge that I have, I've gained from, hanging out with you and learning from you, who's a brilliant businessman. So thanks for that. Say I come to you with mixed consulting and I want to set up my small business, and I'm not sure exactly what I need, but I know I have to have payroll, and I know retention is such a challenge these days for employees. Keeping good employees, identifying good employees, but you want to have those benefits that are going to make them want to stay on board. So how does that look? If we sit down, you do a needs assessment with me, find out what I want to offer and what I need to have to keep me out of trouble. How does that work?
Well, in returns to retention, yes, retention is very difficult for everyone, and so when we find that good hire, we want to keep them right. And there's a lot of ways a PEO works in that. The main ideas that are coming to me here is wage surveys, right? So a lot of these PEOs will have a lot of data on what the market is paying for people. So a lot of times it's just making sure that you're being competitive at all times, so the person doesn't go and interview and take another job. In addition to that, group benefits. So it's group benefits are more important to people today than they were in the past
Right.
for a lot of reasons. So having a extensive, good selection of those plans available at an affordable cost, that's just as important too. A lot of companies have these options. Sometimes they're so expensive, the employees still can't afford their portion. So you've got to have the assortment of selection, and you've got to have the good pricing. It's much easier oftentimes to get that within a PEO company. These PEOs may have thousands of worksite employees, so they've got these economies of scales that
Sure.
you might, with 20 or 30 employees, you don't have that capability to get that kind of pricing.
Yeah. So how do people get in touch with you or your team at the PEO Link?
Sure. So we do have a web presence out there. Our website is very simple to remember, www.thepeolink.com, thepeolink.com.
Yeah.
My email address is luke@thepeolink.com. And those are the best two ways to reach out to us. I am on LinkedIn. I don't check that as often as I should. But yeah, a simple email directly or reaching out to me on LinkedIn is a really good way to get connected.
That's fantastic. It's good to know that, on the podcast, we talk about workforce challenges, solution, disruptive ideas. And it's great to know there's a solution that you can offer people with the PEO Link and your team and set them up with that, the right firm that can take care of their business, whether it's, 15, 20 people or much larger. And you can do pretty much any vertical as long as they're operating legally within the United States, correct? Right. And so that's exciting to know. I appreciate you taking the time to share that. We're going to talk a few different things on the second half of the podcast, but we can get to that. But I just want to thank you for being here and welcome us in here we're at Devino Cellars. We're not at the PEO Link, but Luke's a man of many hats. So thanks again for having us.
Sure. Thank you.
This episode has been brought to you by Buena Vista Solutions. You can find them at bvs.world. Buena Vista Solutions can take care of your staffing needs, scaling and growing your business. They're your nearshore answer to growing your business today. You can see BVS Solutions at Nexus Expo SA that's coming up August 25th and 26th at the Elan Hotel and Resort. We hope to see you there. You can still register to attend, sponsor, or be an exhibitor. Register today at nexusexposa.com. All right, so on the podcast, we talk about the workforce solutions, workforce challenges, but we just heard some great solutions from Luke earlier. we're going to talk about something different. We're going to mix it up a little bit and talk about something you can offer to businesses and individuals out there. So we're here at Devino Cellars with Luke, and Devino has some pretty cool offerings. Let's talk about your private label and some of the other things that Devino does.
Yeah, sure. So we are Devino Cellars. We are a winery tasting room out in Boerne, Texas, and we specialize in imported wines. So we do have a tasting room, and you can come and sip wines and do the things you do at a wine bar setting. What in relation to networking and businesses and corporate gifting, we have ventured into private labeling. So a lot of businesses give away promotional products, and sometimes it's pens and koozies and notepads and things of that nature. Yeah. We feel and we find that a private label, a bottle of wine is a lot more intimate, depending on who the recipient is, of course, and a lot more welcome wine in certain instances, and also a way to brand yourself and to have your label on there. I think wine is a gift that people give away often anyway, but we think this is a more personal touch versus going to your local store and buying something off the shelf and handing it to someone. Putting your own brand, your own label on there. There's a lot you can do art-wise with your own label, right, and things like that to really make it make an impression on those customers and those prospects. So we're able to do that. We're able to find the wine, bring the wine in. We have someone on staff that can help artistically put the label together. Then it's just simply a matter of getting the labels printed, placed on the bottles, delivered back to the client, and you've got a really great gift to give out.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because I've already talked to you about doing one for Mixed Consulting and start the ball rolling on that. So that's exciting. I'm really grateful that you've decided to come on board to Nexus Expo SA, happening August 25th and 26th, to be an exhibitor and to offer this to, there's going to be so many business leaders from different places, different countries, but a lot of them from the Texas Triangle and the Hill Country. And they're always looking for something unique. And what you are doing with your private labeling is it's amazing to me. I think it's timely. I think it's much better than some of the stuff that you get. Like you said, I've gotten so many koozies that I don't need, or somebody gives me a little bag of something and there's not, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but man, somebody gives me a bottle of wine. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to appreciate it. So thank you so much for being an exhibitor and for carving out time in August to be there at the Nexus Expo and, tell people what you're doing there. So I want to say thank you for that. Anything you're excited about with the expo coming up?
Yeah, just meeting the multitude of people from different backgrounds that you were describing that will be there. That's exciting for me. This will be my first time talking about our private wine label. We just started that recently, so this will be kind of a new conversation versus what I'm normally talking about. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Obviously, if you can't tell I'm excited, then I don't know what's going on. But I'm jacked about it because I do think it's such a cool and clever idea, and it has more meaning. So as soon as you told me about the idea, there was several people that are already in my mind that I'm like, okay, I need to get Luke in front of these people because I think they would appreciate, as a business owner, CEO, being able to hand something like that out. And so they're going to be able to learn how to do that and how easy the process is with Devino Cellars. And it's not a huge time constraint, right? You're designing a label, getting a bottle, and all that, and depending on the wine they want. What are some of the options that you can offer when people are looking at that? Different types of wines, different.
Really, the options are somewhat unlimited. The approach that I take to this is going out to my winery contacts and purchasing wine from them that they have produced and it's great and it's ready to go, but maybe it's just overstock. Maybe it's into vintage and they're wanting to bring something else in. Sure. So fairly common for these wines to be available out there. The typical consumer doesn't hear about it, but us in the industry know what's out there and what's available. Right. So we can bring these wines in. They're ready to go. So the only thing that we have to do at that point is do the artwork, do the labeling, do the application of the label to the bottle. Very simple stuff.
Right.
We're also able to legally work with companies that resell alcohol. That's kind of a different conversation. There's licensing that's required on that, but still,
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Very much an option. So this would be a scenario. I always use the example of a local restaurant, right? So say you've got a restaurant, and they've got a lot of pride in their image and in their brand, and they have a wine list, and they're buying the same wines as the next restaurant and the next restaurant. This is a way for them to differentiate themselves, put their label on there. Now that I talk about this, a lot of people, the next time they go in a high-end steakhouse, they'll probably look and they'll see one. So this is not a new practice by any stretch, but what it is, I think the way that we do it, we're bringing it down to the demographic of clients that maybe didn't have access to that before. Not everybody owns a huge chain steakhouse, right? That's in all the major cities. Those are the companies that are doing these type of things. And so now we can drill that down and just do it a little more locally and give the customers one more thing to differentiate themselves from, maybe the next restaurant down the block.
Yeah, so something more accessible to other businesses and smaller businesses and even individuals. Like I think of people, having a special anniversary or, 50-year anniversary or a significant birthday that means a lot to them. And maybe the wife says, I'm going to surprise my husband and do a private label for him. That's something you can do as well, right?
Absolutely. We just recently did that with a 50th anniversary.
So nice.
Yeah, that was really neat. This individual came to us and they literally had a photo from when they first met each other, and that photo ended up transposed onto a label, onto their private label. He even had the own name of the wine, and there you go. So that's something that was very special. We were, honored to be part of that process, and but just something like that you wouldn't normally think of,
right?
That really made them feel special, and of course they're going to have a huge celebration for that, and they're going to give those bottles out to family members. So fun stuff.
Yeah, that's something that's really memorable, very unique, and the fact that you're able to offer that to whether it's a business, an individual, families, that's pretty cool. And in the fact that it's accessible, that's exciting as well. So I always learn something new when I come into Devino Cellars. You're a man, a wealth of knowledge. We talked about your wine expertise in another episode of something else, but we have maybe a minute to share a little bit about I want people to realize the credentials you have before we wrap up here. If you can just give us a quick summary, because you're very passionate, but you're very educated in wine as well.
Sure. I've drank wine for a long time, as many people have, but really taken it upon myself to educate myself. So I've got a few different credentials. I'm Texas Wine Certified, WSET Level 2 certified. I'm currently in classes from the Wine Institute. I've been a member of the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association in the past. I've been a member of the Hill Country Wineries Association in the past. So, there is a lot that I have done in the past. I'm continuing to do to keep that information fresh so that I can explain and answer questions as best I can when presented.
Yeah, that's exciting. So you can come into Devino's and learn more. You can go to the website, devinoscellars.com. And you can get something booked and get something taken care of. So just excited about all that. And we're going to wrap it up here. So thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast today, Luke. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And thank you for hosting us and having us in here at Devino Cellars. Really appreciate it. Always great to connect with you.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you on the next one, folks.